Hi everybody, welcome back. We've done our dance video and now it's time to do our mind-body video. So this is week 3 of looking at the different elements of dance. We've looked at body, we've looked at action, and today we will look at the third one, space. Outer space. Just kidding. It's more about how we use the space around us. So here we are again. You may remember this graphic that we've been looking at the last couple of weeks about the elements of dance. So as I just said, we've looked at the body, we've looked at action, and now we're looking at space. So what is this? This is where is the dancer dancing? What kind of space is around us, right? So let's look at these different categories. And I'm telling you, we could do an entire class on every single one of these categories. So we're going to go through them super fast today, but maybe we'll come back to some of them in the future because they could all be explored for a lot longer than we have together today. So we have place. We explored that a little bit with actions last week, right? Are we standing in one place? Or are we traveling around the space? Size. Is our action small and close to our body? Or is it big and far apart from the body? Level. Is the action high? That is it jumping? Is it leaping? Is it up in the air? Or is it low, down on the ground, creeping, crawling, rolling? Or is it always in the middle? Direction. Okay, so we know this just from our everyday lives, right? We're usually walking in a certain direction. Forward seems to be the most common. But when we dance, we can go in any direction. We could go backward. We could rise upward from the floor. We could go downward towards the floor. We could go side to side. We like doing that a lot in our line dances. We can move diagonally through the space towards the different corners of the room. We could do pathway, the next one. Okay, so pathway, the way that we're moving through the space. Okay, so imagine that you are in a room and you have to get from point A to point B. What's the quickest way to get there? If you said in a straight line, you are correct. So the quickest way to get somewhere is a straight line. But what if there's stuff in the way? Then we might have to move in a zigzag way to get around the space. Or a curvy way. Maybe we have to turn in some circles to get around things. Next we have plane. Oof, not going to get into this one too much, but it's about where the body is positioned in the space. We'll skip that one for now. Focus. Our eyes, right? Where is our focus? Right here on me, I hope. But while we're dancing, it could be more inward, meaning we're kind of like thinking about it, right? Or outward, we're performing, we're presenting, we're connecting with somebody else or with the audience. And finally, relationships, right? That might be relationships to other dancers in the space or to objects in the space. I don't know about you, but when I'm dancing at home, there's tables, there's chairs, right? There's couches, there's things around us. So we're dancing in relationship to these things that are in our space. We could be in front of them, behind them, over them, under them. We could be alone or connected to them, near, far, right? We're always dancing in relationship to things and other people when they're with us. Okay, so let's stand up and explore this a little bit. Like last week we explored with action. Today let's explore the space around us. And you can try this no matter what space you're in, right? So if you're in a kitchen, if you're in a bedroom, if you're in a living room, if you're outside, whatever space you're in, you're just going to explore that space, okay? So first, let's pick an action from the action column to explore our space with. How about stretch, okay? Let's try stretching in one place. Go for it. There's no right or wrong. So just whatever I say that feels good to you, go for it. Okay, try stretching in one place. And now try stretching, traveling around the room. This should feel familiar, right? Locomotor, non-locomotor movement. Great. Great. Now size. Try stretching in a small way. How could you stretch in a small way? Right? Maybe however you're stretching is very close to your body. Now try stretching in a large way. What are the biggest stretches you can do with your arms and your legs reaching really far away from the center of your body? Can you stretch even bigger with more energy? Great. Okay, level. Try stretching way up high to the sky in different ways. Try stretching in different ways up high to the sky. And now down low. Try stretching down at a low level. Excellent. Excellent. And again, I'm not showing you, I'm not doing it any right or wrong way. So just explore, play with it, be creative, have fun. Direction, try stretching forward in the space. Try stretching backward in the space. Try stretching upward and downward. Awesome. How about sideward? How about stretching diagonally? Okay, thinking about that pathway moving through the room. Can you stretch, tracing some different pathways in the air? Maybe as you move through the room, you're stretching, but in a straight line. Maybe you're stretching in a zigzag line. Try those two first. Try moving around the room and stretching in a straight line. Now try moving around the room while making a zigzag, like there's lots of different things on the floor and you have to avoid them. Awesome. Okay, focus. Try stretching with an inward focus, that like you're thinking, like you're caught up in your own thoughts. Great. Now try stretching with an outward focus. Where are your eyes looking? Are you looking outward as you stretch? Awesome. Okay, finally, relationships. Choose something that's in your room, a chair or a table, something, okay? Now stretch in front of it, stretch behind it, stretch over it, stretch under it. Okay, stretch alone, stretch all by yourself. Now stretch connected to that object. Funny, right? Stretch right near it, right next to it. And now stretch really far away from it. You got it. Awesome. Great. Okay, we're going to do these one more time, but this time with some different actions, okay? We explored a whole lot of actions last week. So this time we'll use a few more of those while we do it. I'm going to play some music. Okay, great. Let's try curling in place and curling, traveling around your space. Maybe check out the walls, check out the ceiling, check out the floor, check out all the elements of your space. Great. Let's do some rolling. And now do your rolling in a small way. And now do it in a large way. How can you take up space while you're rolling? Great. And now move however you want at a low level down by the floor. Any kind of low level move. And now a high level move. Great. How can you take up space at a different level? All right. Now walking in every direction, walk forward, walk backward, Walk in every direction. Walk side to side, diagonally. Excellent. Great. Now trace some different pathways through the air. That is, go in a straight line through your space. Now go in a zigzag way through your space, like you're hopping around all the stuff in the way. Great. Now do some action that shows inward focus and an action that shows outward focus. Great. Go back to your object, table, chair, and dance in front of it. Do some sort of move behind it. Do some sort of move over it and under it. Great. Try some movements alone and connected to it. Try some movements near to it and far away. Excellent. Okay, dancers. Great. So if you'd like to pause and choose a reader to read out loud, this would be a great time. A different student can read each paragraph, and that would be awesome. So if you'd like to pause and do that now, you may. And if not, I will go ahead and read. Or you can skip forward if someone else is reading. However works best for your class. So, dancers interact with space in myriad ways. They may stay in one place, or they may travel from one place to another. They may alter the direction, level, size, and pathways of their movements, which we just saw by playing with that a little bit. The relationship of the dancers to each other may be based on geometric designs or rapidly change as they move close together and apart. Even when a dancer is dancing alone in a solo, the dancer is dynamically involved in the space of the performing area, so that the space might also be considered a partner in the dance. Interesting. I like that. Thinking of the space that we're in as a partner in the dance because of how we use the space. That's cool. Dancers may focus their movement and attention outwardly to the space or inwardly into themselves. And we just played with that too. The line of travel may be quite direct towards one or more points in space, or indefinite and meandering. Dancers may also orient their movement towards objects or in relation to natural settings. Sometimes dances are created for specific locations, such as an elevator or on a raft in a lake, for site-based performances. I once had a teacher, dancers, and she choreographed a dance in a boat and then put the boat in a pool inside our school. Isn't that funny? So they were doing a dance in a boat inside of a pool, and it was really cool. And that would be one way to use a specific space. Spatial relationships between dancers or between dancers and objects are the basis for design concepts such as beside, in front, over, through, around, near, or far, which we also just played with a little bit. So we are now going to watch a video clip. This is called Dance with Two Army Blankets by a company called Shapiro and Smith Dance. They're from Minnesota. And we're going to watch about a 5-minute clip of their dance and then describe it. Okay, cool. So I think you get the idea. Here we are back at the elements of dance. So look at the space column. Think about what you just saw. How could we describe what we just saw? So feel free to pause my video if you'd like to have a discussion with yourselves just based on the space vocabulary. Otherwise, I'll go ahead and have us think about what we just saw. So place, right? Were the dancers in place or traveling? They were traveling a lot around the stage, right? They were going all over the place. They were really using the entire space. How about size? Were their movements small or large? Maybe some of both, right? But I saw a lot of large leaping, jumping, like flinging, right? How about levels? What did you see? I definitely saw them using all levels, right? They were up in the air, they were down on the floor, they were everywhere. Yeah. How about direction? What direction were the dancers using? Whatever you said, you're right, because I think they were using all the directions, right? They weren't just going in one direction all the time. They were going forward, backwards, sideways, diagonal. They were going all over the place. Really interesting use of direction. And pathways too, right? Again, they weren't just going in a straight line. They were going all over the space on the stage. Oh, and relationships, the final one. That one was super interesting, right? Because what were they holding? They were holding that big, I don't even know what to call it, right? That long cloth thing. And the dancers were jumping into it, onto it, under it, over it, right? This was a really good example of how dancers dance in relationships to each other and objects, because they were dancing all around each other and this object. So now let's compare what we just saw, all this different use of space, to the video that we watched last week to show action. So quick reminder, this was the video that we saw last week. We'll just watch a little bit of it. Okay. So it's very, very different, right? The way that these two different dance pieces used space. This one was extremely different than the other one. So now you're going to show me how they're different, because I don't need to tell you. You already have a lot of vocabulary to talk about this. So this is the same and different chart, also known as a Venn diagram. And I'm sure lots of you have seen a Venn diagram before or done one before, maybe for English, maybe for social studies, right? It's to show how are these two things different and how are they the same, okay? So go ahead and just grab something to write with, grab your journal, grab a piece of paper, and go ahead and draw that Venn diagram, right? We're going to draw one big circle. I'm doing it with you. And now another big circle, and they overlap in the middle. Okay, now on one side is A. Let's have A be the video we just saw. So A is, let's call it the tapping piece, so we remember what it is. So A, the tapping piece. And B, we'll call the space piece. Okay, so let's do this together. Yeah, let's fill. Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to give you a minute to do it yourself because you don't need me. You get it. We're going to fill this out. For A, put what is unique about A, right? A being the tapping piece, the percussive piece. What is unique about that tapping piece that's not true for the space piece we just saw? And then for B, what is unique about the space piece we just saw with the rope and the flinging and all the people that's not true for A? So specifically think about how they use the space, right? Which one of those pieces was using all the space and which one of those pieces was using just a little bit of space? So write down all the characteristics that you can think of to describe B, the space piece we just saw, and A, the tapping space piece that illustrated action from last week. Go ahead and put all the descriptive words you can think of, maybe using something from the elements of dance. And then in the middle, how are these two pieces the same? Even though they're very, very, very different, how are they the same? Maybe you put, well, they're dancing. Yeah. They're both on a stage. They both have groups of people. They both have costumes. But what's different about the two? Think about the music. Think about the type of actions they did. Think about the levels or the props that they used. Now I'll give you one more minute to go ahead and fill everything out that you can think of. Awesome. Great. Teachers, again, feel free to pause and have a discussion about this together. Have some people share about what they wrote. Otherwise, it is time for me to say goodbye. I hope you learned something new today about space and how dancers use space. If you have time, a bonus idea, because we're running out of time, but if you have some time, one bonus activity you can do is to take your 4-action sequence from last week. Remember we made up a dance that had actions 1, 2, 3, 4, and change one of the elements of space for your dance. So maybe you alter the level. Maybe you alter the pathway. Maybe you alter a relationship to an object. Yeah? So if you have some extra time, I'll show you the elements of dance again. If you have some extra time after this, bonus assignment is to take your 4-action sequence and change something about the space. And then you can share it with the class. All right, friends, time to head out. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.